What is going on, guys? So today what we're gonna do is we are making a tier list for shiny legendaries. So this particular tier list is going to be based solely off of looks alone and not so much based off of viability or anything like that. There will be a couple that are kind of iffy in my book that I may base off of whether it be its form, its viability, or its availability. By viability I just mean like battle wise and whether or not it's viable in battle. Like Melmetal, for instance, is very viable in Pokemon Go, so that kind of changes things in my tier perspective a little bit. And availability is based off of like being shiny locked or being available only through events or anything like that. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into this list, and we're going to go right down the line. We're not going to pick and choose like, oh, this is my S tier, this is my S tier, this is my A, this is my D.
What did he say?
Whatever. Obviously S is going to be the best and D is going to be the worst. And kicking things off, we have Articuno. Articuno and Zapdos are very lackluster in my opinion. Very poor start. Articuno, I'm going to give it a little bit of a bump just because it is slightly different, and the light blue fits the ice theme nicely, but it's still not a good shiny. Zapdos, however, is going at the very bottom of the list because I don't like it shiny at all. Moltres, however, you're going to find that my tier list is going to be, there's going to be a lot of black, pink, and green shinies up here at the top, and red shinies also, but down here are going to be ones that don't change very much. What I'm looking for in a shiny is something that really like stands out, something that really transforms the Pokemon, and the ones that don't have much of a change, like Regice for instance, are at the very bottom of my list, Zapdos being one of them. So Moltres being one of those pink ones is not my S tier though. I don't think it has quite enough to get it there. I don't know what it's going to take to get it there, but it's definitely an A tier for me. And the same is going to go for Mewtwo. I like its green. I think it's a really cool shiny. It's one of my favorite Pokemon. But it's definitely not up there for S tier for me. Mew, however, is S tier for me. I definitely like Mew shiny a lot. Again, this is all opinion based, and it's all my personal preference. If you think Zapdos is an S tier shiny, then you know that's your personal preference, and that's okay.
This guy stinks!
There's no right or wrong answers here. It's just, you know, showing you my opinion, and if you want to leave a comment down below letting me know which ones you like the best, absolutely feel free to do so, and drop a like while you're down there. It's free. Raikou, Entei, and Suicune. They're different, but they're not enough for them to be anything really crazy good. So I'm gonna keep them at B. I think B is a good spot for them. They're kind of meh shinies. They're good, but they're not top of the line. I think B is a very comfortable place for them to be. Lugia, on the other hand, is one of my favorite shinies. So S tier it goes. Its counterpart, Ho-Oh. This could be a hot take for some. I've heard some people love Ho-Oh shiny. I'm gonna put it at an A. I think it's good, and I think it's a great shiny, but I don't think it has enough to get me there to an S tier. And if I'm being completely honest, like it's borderline B for me.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
So I'd say it's like a solid B plus A minus here. I wish you could put them like, you know, mid tier. That'd be kind of cool to do. Celebi, another one of my favorite shinies, is going in the S tier. The only thing I don't like about Celebi is that it's hidden behind like events or paywalls or, you know, what have you, and so that's my only downfall to Celebi. But I also understand the business side of it, right? So I'm not too mad about it, so I'm gonna give Celebi an S tier. Regirock, if you had asked me a year ago to rate Regirock, he would have been C tier for me, easy, all day, right? But I've bumped him up a few notches only because in recent hunts I hunted him on Pokemon Sword and on Ultra Sun, and I've started the shinies really started to grow on me. So I'm actually gonna bump this up to an A tier, because I think its shiny is really cool. It's really grown on me. Regice, bottom, piece of trash, don't like it, hate it. They could have done something so much cooler. They could have done like a white shiny with blue, with dark deep blue accents on it, and that would have gave it that ice type feel, and it would have really popped and stood out, but they didn't. So it's down here at D. Registeel, I'm also gonna give that an A. I love that minty green. Latias and Latios. Latias, I like a little bit more that yellow orangish color. I don't know what color you want to call this. Mustard. This mustard yellow. I like. I'm gonna put that at A, and I'm gonna put Latios at B. Again, this Latios is one that's at B plus A minus for me. It kind of sits here in the middle. I love the color teal. It just, for me, it's not that different from its original form, so that's why it's gonna go here. But again, just know that it's at the higher end of B, lower end of A for me. Origin form, not origin form, what am I talking about?
Today, Junior.
Primal Kyogre, there we go, and regular Kyogre, S tier all the way for me. Its counterpart, however, though, Groudon, we are gonna split this up a little bit, and it's gonna be fairly drastic, if I'm being honest. I'm gonna put Primal in the S tier. I think it's a gorgeous shiny. It looks really cool with the black, with the accents. However, regular Groudon, I'm gonna put in B.
What?
Again, another mid, solid B plus A minus tier. But if I had to choose A or B, I'm gonna put it in B, just because I don't like the color green that they chose. Right? Rayquaza for me. If you know anything about my channel and about me at all, Rayquaza is forever and always going to be my S tier shiny. It is one of my favorites. It's one of my favorite Pokemon. So therefore it's going to be an S tier. Jirachi is going to be, I'm going to say B. I'd give it an A. But again, its accessibility in this case is very limited. So because of that, I'm gonna bump it down just a hair to a B. Deoxys, I really love the yellow. I think it's cool. So we're gonna go with A for that. Uxie, Mesprit, and Azelf. Uxie and Azelf, I'm gonna put here at C. Because they don't change very much, and I don't think they're the greatest of shinies. Uxie in particular is very just dull. Its skull piece, its hair, whatever you want to call this, is way too similar to its body color, and so I'm not a big fan of that. But I will give Mesprit a B, just because I do like its pinkish dreads, or whatever you want to call these, skull piece, hair, whatever it is. I do like that just a little bit more, so I am going to give that a B. Dialga and Palkia, they're not much different. For viability purposes, Dialga is more at a C plus B minus for me than Palkia, but again, we're going based off of color, and their colors aren't much different, and so it's going to go a C tier for me. And the same goes for Heatran. Heatran just gets pink eyes, and the body becomes a little bit lighter, so we're going to stick with C tier for him. Regigigas. Regigigas it's a difficult one, because I actually really like it shiny, but I forget about it, and I think it's because Regigigas is such a forgettable Pokemon, and which is kind of unfortunate because they gave it such a nice shiny. Like, I love the purple, so I think I'm gonna put it in B, just because for me it's a forgettable Pokemon. It might be some people's favorite, and that's, like I said earlier, that's fine too. But for my purposes, I'm going to put it B. Again, this one's a B plus, A minus. This one is where we go kind of based off of forms too, because I love Giratina shiny, but I think it looks so much cooler in this form. So we're going to give that form the S and then this form the A. Just so that we can kind of split them up. Because if I had to pick which one I was going for shiny, I would go for this one first over this one. And I can't remember which one's origin form. I want to say this one's origin form. I can't remember. Forgive me. Let me know in the comments below which one's which. Is my S tier the origin form, or is the A tier the origin form? Cresselia, again, barely changed, but it's enough of a difference to where it's like, okay, I can tell that's shiny. So C tier. Fion and Manaphy, D tier. I don't like them at all. I don't think they're the greatest of shinies, and they're usually locked behind some sort of event or something. Darkrai, again, very lackluster shiny. The purple's kind of cool. So this one is kind of a C plus, B minus for me. It kind of sits here in the middle as well, just because I do like the purple, but it's not different enough for me to really bump it up the ladder enough. Shaman. So we have Skyform Shaman and regular Shaman. And this is probably going to be a hot take for some, but I'm putting this in the D tier as well.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Although I like the vibrancy of its Chia Pet hair here. It's not different at all, and it's usually locked behind some sort of event, and so it's not one of my favorites by any stretch of the imagination. Arceus is kind of cool in the sense of like I can kind of see where they were going with it. It's supposed to be the god of all Pokemon, and so they went with this like goldish color, but I think they oversaturated it and it makes it all look like one color, and it's very dull, I guess. And because of that, I'm just gonna sit it here a mediocre B. It's probably sitting closer to a B minus. It's really not my favorite, but I can see where they were going with it, and because it's the god of Pokemon, I'll give them a little bit of a boost. Victini is going to be one that's going to get an A because I love it shiny. But what prevents it from getting that S, I think, is its availability. I don't even think you can get it. I think it's permanently shiny locked. If there is a way to get it, let me know in the comments what way that is, because I would like to try to get access to it somehow. But because of its difficulty of accessibility, we are going to put it here at an A tier because it is a nice shiny, but it's hard to get access to. The Swords of Justice.
The International Justice League of Super Acquaintances.
Cobalion, Terrakion, and Virizion. Cobalion, C. It's not the greatest. Doesn't change a whole lot. We're gonna kind of climb the ladder with these three. Say that 10 times fast. Terrakion, we're gonna give the B. I like the red. I like the teal. But Verizon Wireless, as a lot of people like to call it.
Can you hear me now?
I'm gonna give it that A because I love the pink. It's much different than its green original form, so I think that's great. We have Tornadus, Thundurus, and Landorus. I'm gonna skip over Reshiram and Zekrom just so I can get the Naduses out of the way. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I do confuse these two. This one is Tornadus, right? And then this one is Thundurus. Let me know which one, because I do get them confused. But this one we're gonna put in D tier anyways. I don't like it. I think it's garbage, and it's not much different than its original form. And so with these, with the Landuses, we're gonna kind of bump up the ladder a little bit as well, because Thundurus we're gonna put in C, because I do like the purple. I do like the blue on its body. but I don't think it's enough to get it that B tier. I'm not really sure what would get it there, but it's just kind of like, nah, okay, that's fine. But Landorus, it does jump off the page a little bit more. It is a little bit brighter, so I'm gonna give it that B tier. It's still a little meh to me, but I think a B tier is a good, comfortable place for Landorus to be. Reshiram, I'm gonna give a C, and Zekrom, I'm gonna give a D. Only because Reshiram, like, you can tell because of the gold, but that's literally all they did, is they changed the gold rings on Reshiram. And Zekrom, it's barely any different. It's so hard to tell. So I don't like it shiny at all, so we're gonna drop it there at the D tier. And then we have black and white form Kyurem. I'm gonna put those at C just because I do like the forms. The shinies are okay, and I think Zekrom, or not Zekrom, I'm sorry, Kyurem also belongs in the C tier as well. He's very much D plus, C minus tier for me. He's borderline being in D. Keldeo, also another one that is, his accessibility is hard. So I'm gonna put it into C. It's borderline B for me. Meloetta, I'm gonna say the pink form. We're gonna put that in A. I really like the pink form a lot, but this form here, we're gonna drop it a little bit to B. I don't think it's much different than the original. So I think B suits this form of Meloetta, but the pink form is really cool and cute to me, so we're gonna put it there. Genesect, love this shiny, so we're gonna put that at S tier. The purple to the bright vibrant red, absolutely love it, so cool to me. Xerneas is I'm debating. I'm in between B and C on this one. I'm gonna give it that little bit of a boost. I'll give it the B.
Okay.
Just because I do like the white and blue contrast on the body. That is kind of cool. The Bacon Bird, Yveltal. I used to think this was S tier. But the change is kind of subtle, but I still like the shiny a lot, so I'm gonna keep it at A just because I still think it's a really cool shiny. Zygarde we're gonna put at S tier. I love the white and green concept, and with the Dynamax Adventures, it's a really cool shiny. So we're gonna put that at S tier. It's very different from its original, and I feel like S is a fitting place for Zygarde to be. Diancie, however, we're gonna drop it to a B. It's not one of my favorite shinies, and again, accessibility, one of those harder ones to get if you can even get it at all. And Hoopa, probably a hot take. I'm putting him at D. I'm putting Hoopa at D. I think this, you know what, I'll give him a little bit. I'll give him a C. I'll give Hoopa the C. It is an oversaturated yellow, and it does really stand out. It is very different from its original form, but I think we'll put Hoopa, the saturated shiny yellow, into the saturated C. So I feel like that's fitting. Volcarona, Volcanion, something, Volcano guy. I don't remember his name. But we are putting this one at, I'm going to put it at A tier only because of its accessibility. This would be an S tier for me, but because it's so hard to access, and I don't, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think you can even get access to this shiny. So again, you've got another one that's a great shiny. Same thing with Victini over here. You'll get a great shiny and it's locked behind a shiny lock and you can't even get access to it. So great shiny, so we're putting it at A, but because we can't get it, we're keeping it at A. It's not going to S. The Tapus, though. The Tapus are not my favorite. I'll give them a B because I do like the black concept. I was teetering on C for these guys, but I like the switch to black here. I just wish they did something. If they did something to make their counter color pop a little bit more, like, you know, if Tapu Koko wasn't this like weird peachy muted orange color, and you know, all of their colors are secondary colors anyways are very muted. If they did something to make them like very vibrant and pop, then absolutely these would probably be an A tier depending on what they did with them. But because I like the black scheme and they've got kind of a poopy secondary color, they're going in B. Cosmog is going in D. Cosmome, we'll bump it up to C, but Lunala and Solgaleo are going in S tier. Love these shinies, so cool. But their Ultra Necrozma forms are C tier for me. They are definitely C tier. I think it's cool that they go to pink, but it just doesn't stand out. You would think with like an alternate form like this, they could have really made that like pop, but you know, they didn't. Ultra Necrozma, I'll put, I'm gonna put in C. I think it's an okay shiny. It's very much B plus C minus for me. So just know that one also is a teeterer. Necrozma itself, I'm gonna go with D. It goes from that black to that dark blue. Again, hard to tell, not my favorite. Magearna, I like Magearna's shiny a lot. We're gonna put that in A. I feel like that's a good one. I also really love its Pokeball form, even though that's not shiny. It'd be really cool if like the Pokeball form became a Master Ball when it was shiny. But you know, Zeraora is top tier shiny for me. Love the white concept. I love the concept altogether. Let's be honest. And it was really cool that when Pokemon Home came out, they gave this away. I thought that was a really cool thing that they did. So here's the Meltan and Melmetal that we were talking about earlier. Meltan, I don't like it shiny. It's barely any different, and it really holds no weight. If somebody's like, oh, I found shiny Melmetal or Meltan. You know, my reaction when I got my shiny on Pokemon Go, I was like, yeah, shiny Meltan, and then it's kind of just sat in my Pokedex and I forget about it. But Melmetal, however, has more viability, so I am going to bump it up just one tier to a C, just because it does have that viability. It's good for PvP, and it's cool to bring a shiny one to the table. Zacian and Zamazenta, I like their shinies. It's cool that they did giveaways for these. I'm gonna put these at A. I like that their colors really pop and they really stand out. If I had to choose which one I like more, I know I said I like the pink shinies more, but I really like the blue on Zacian. I like it a lot. Eternatus,
I'm in danger.
the very last one we're gonna choose is the very last one on the list. I don't like it. It just basically makes it look like it glows a little bit more, and that's kind of that doesn't do it for me. But that does it for me in this tier list. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know what you would change. Let me know, do one of your own and let me know what you came up with. I'd be interested to see where other people's opinions are, and you know, we can start a conversation about that. But I wanted to do more of these, whether it be starters, whether it be regions, generations. Let me know in the comments below which one you would like to see me do next, and we'll get started on one of those. But for now, it's been real, it's been fun, and I will see you guys in the next one. As always, stay unfazed.